Hi everyone, good morning, or whatever time it is that you come across this video. I've got a few messages for you here. It's rather a long one. I was up pretty much all night listening. I'll start with Friday's message that I did not give to you, which was just a very short one. There was talk from this adversary, or whatever they wish to call themselves at this time. They were talking about Florida, and they mentioned Monday or Tuesday, which would be the 13th or the 14th next week. So that was the only message. So be on the lookout. Something may be happening in Florida Monday or Tuesday. Now comes last night's messages. So there was a song, and it was, I want to let you free, or something like that. I want to let you free. So there's somebody here who wants to let you free. There's talk about aesthetics, which are beauty and artistic taste, and people's appreciation of beautiful things. It's like they're trying to insert a different replacement for you that is identical. They're really mad that their heart attack magic didn't work. They're talking about gingivitis, which is a mild and common form of gum disease, also called periodontal disease. They keep talking about dental records and tattoos. You are a challenge to duplicate. They need another angel to commit to them to catfish your kingdom spouse. They're discussing your astrological chart, your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, and all that stuff. They're asking, is she heavy? They're talking about curtains, saying that you don't have any curtains in your front windows. So they're stalking you, driving by your house, checking stuff out. They know where you are. They're talking about someone in the hospital or putting somebody in the hospital. Talking about needing to process somebody. Then another one, somebody said, it has already taken place, someone said. They mentioned Sophia, which is the female personification of holy wisdom, also Divine Mother. Jesus apparently has been called Sophia, according to Google. All of her paths are peace. She is a tree of life. And that's from Proverbs 3:17-18. She's the feminine symbol for God. At 11:11 on 111, the curator boy said, just do it real quick. They want an inheritance, which are assets being passed down. Now, there's at least 3 men, which are the main characters in this conversation about stalking the feminine. They know where she is, and they're very intense right now. They're needing what she is getting, and they're in panic. This curator of human vitality and soul is dropping F-bombs, which is very unusual. In the whole 22 years that I've been listening to this jackwagon, I have not heard him use the F-bomb. So, yeah. They're discussing the Holy Grail, which is, and pondering bloodlines. Then I had a visual of an individual that seemed to be wearing a hijab, or I think that's what you call them, or like a ninja thing. And I've been talking about ninja foilers, you know. So it's this person, I couldn't tell whether it was masculine or feminine. I think it may have been a feminine, but I don't know. It could have very well been a ninja. It was a black satin headscarf or cap and a black satin facial veil. There was no lace or nothing. It was just a veil. These adversaries are talking about something being illicit, which is forbidden by law, rules, or custom. They reject you because you aren't obeying or in compliance with their customs, their man rules. Human, they're saying. You are an original human. The light in you is vast. You are connected to source, a powerhouse. Life, in a very big way, moves through you and comes out of you. These so-called men, they must have the gifts of the woman. Without her, there really isn't any for them. The gifts are with her. They are in a deficit. They're in the hole. They owe more than they have earned or stolen. They need someone with an inheritance to pay their debt. Counterfeit, they said, which is an imitation meant to deceive and to commit fraud. Now, they may be talking about counterfeit money to pay their debt. They may be talking about a counterfeit person to replace you so that they can, and which I think that this is what it is, because they're talking about the KID napping. So they've been caught, or maybe somebody has been caught and recognized as a counterfeit. So then this curator boy, seller of human life force, vitality, and soul, said excitedly, "You can take the original and blah, 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 blah." They were just going on, so excited, trying to sell somebody, whatever, a kid napping the original organic human. And then someone said, "You fool." They're discussing a feminine, saying she's 19 years of age. And they're saying she's got cancer, or she is a cancer. They're looking for a hostess. Then somebody said, "It's too late for that." And she's dignified, and she's antisocial. They're talking about Godzilla, which is Godzilla. Zilla is a powerful, monstrous entity, a large, destructive force. And in Hebrew, it's a shadow or a shade. So this Godzilla is who they've been working with. "I can walk," he said. So they're wanting to walk to your location. I really believe they're hoping that you're going to open the door and they can just get a silencer out there and unalive you right there in the entryway, and then walk on out and be gone before nobody knows it, leave without a trace. So be wary of where you are, of opening the door to strangers. Then at 12:42 a.m., somebody said, "That's exactly what I'm going to do." And the curator of human vital force said, "She wants the blah, blah, blah." And I think he's talking about some dark witch. Maybe this dark witch is Godzilla. I don't know. Some feminine there. "She has to be innocent," he says. And that's Hebrew, he said. So she has to be an innocent Hebrew. She has to conform with their rules, with their religion, in order to be acceptable in their prophecy and storyline. They're talking about the farm. They want to take the original, you, and you, angel with the big light, and they want to take you to the farm and use you as a breeder in a Regenesis program. They want this innocent Hebrew person to be sacrificed and take your place as this Hebrew bride or whatever. I don't like this woman, he said. Whichever one is there in this role right now that they are completely disregarding. Now, these are the same people that murdered Jesus, okay? Right now, they're really pissed off because God's chosen female doesn't conform with these Hebrew freaking religious rules. And they want to assassinate her, just like they did Jesus. That's a direct violation, someone said. Killing you is a direct violation, just like it was when they did Jesus. They're going against God. They're worshiping this Godzilla, this shadow creature who appears to be a feminine that wants something special out of this feminine sacrifice. Estrogen in the canned food, even the sodas. So, men have been told in their previous lives that they were born as women, and that's why there's so much confusion regarding their desire for men. And you may have mentioned to somebody who said something similar to this, that they're, the estrogen in the canned goods probably doesn't help any. And it sounds like maybe now there's a backlash from these ones against those who fed them this story about urges and such. They're in deficit. And it's really strange listening to these tyrants, these arrogant tyrants, talking in such a desperate tone. It's too late for that. They got to do something right now. They're not able to make the shift, the jump into the new chapter. You refuse to go into the dark. They need to trap you there so that they can siphon your spiritual inheritance and your life force vitality. Literally the prophecy, someone said. Apparently you're a prophet. And they don't like you because what? Because you take plant medicine, you utilize herbs to generate more healthy cellular activity in the temple, to enliven the neurodynamic of your transmitter receiver, your field of conscious awareness. $12:54 a.m. Someone's concerned about $150,000. So somebody needs $150,000. They're bidding $150,000 on your essence. They're the only person, ... I really wish I could hear the goods of these conversations, but all I get is the outer edges. And then another one said, why do you think I like her? So somebody's bidding $150,000 on you, Earth Angel. They like you. But they are loyal to this Godzilla being. There's something about communications. At 2:18 a.m., somebody said, there's a situation. Somebody said, a beautiful soul. I got a marriage certificate, he said. So, are they falsifying certificates in the astral realms to trap people in false contracts? to affect their 3D experience and their life. Now, I know for a fact that they were gaining false contracts in the astral realms using black magic, because they did that to me probably numerous times, but it didn't work this time. At 2:22 a.m., someone said, "This is it." And they were snarling like, "This is it." So I don't know if they're a Godzilla member, family member. Like maybe Godzilla it's a shadow dwelling being, and they could very well be, lizard-like. I don't know. At 2:24, it gets really tiring listening to this curator of human vital force and soul talking about the feminine. She's innocent, he said. There's lots of benefits she comes with. At 3:28 a.m., they're discussing an American and a North African. And a while ago, just a few days ago, they were talking about how there's 2 remaining options. So out of all the people out there, apparently there's 2 feminines that are an option. Neither of you match their prophecy. You don't look the same. You're not of the Hebrew religion. They got this false prophecy. Now, there's even says in the Bible, and I can't remember what verse it is. I think it's Corinthians, but it says they can know in part and prophesy in part. And the rest of the information that they filled in here was a fantasy. And it could have been gleaned from a parallel universe. And that could be why it's opposite of what's occurring now. At 3:44, a thought rolled through my head. And there's a difference. See, these curators, these adversaries, they use words. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. They just always talking. Blah, 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 blah. But when the divine speaks, it's like a thought form, not an antagonistic, chaotic thought form, but it's just a gentle flow, right? And in this message that flowed through, they said, keep your eye on the bear. Now, apparently there was a trust or something, and they took it, and they can't pay it back. Now, I don't know if this is the bear or this Hebrew clan or whatever. They're in deficit. One of these countries is in big trouble with God. They're panicking. This is a pivotal moment, one of the masculines said. And then there was a song. I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. So apparently your doppelganger, who tried to put you in the dark, was complaining, why don't you go in the dark? You just won't go. And apparently this person is having an identity crisis because she's been wearing your energy for so long. And she's been stealing your thoughts, taking them on as though they are her own experiences, perhaps mimicking them in her own action. You lived through all of the death magic. She could not unalive you, and neither could any of her boy toys or girl toys or whatever, Godzillas. Why won't you go into the dark? So because you didn't go into the dark, and because your physical temple, which houses your spirit and soul, was not unalived, she can't pretend anymore. You are seen very clearly. You're shining brightly. You're speaking. You may have a platform out there. You're telling your story or whatever it is you're doing. And it's very obvious that she's not you. There's these adversary masculines are talking about executing her. Now, I don't know if they're talking about the doppelganger or you. It's very unclear. They couldn't use their magic to get you out of here. So it's like they have to do something in the 3D now to interfere. She really thought she was going to get your utopia. She was mate poaching, catfishing. But God stepped in and said, what y'all think you got going on? These adversaries are talking about prisoners. Now, I don't know if they're talking about the ones that they have or becoming prisoners. This curator boy, Jackwagon, is saying to one of these men, you're not invited. So they're planning an assassination during some ceremony. It's like they've cloaked themselves. The other day, there was a masculine adversary talking about, I sit in it. So whether it be a magical cloaking bath or there's a triangular thing, like a copper triangle that you can sit under, and it's supposed to reharmonize or do something, change the frequency and vibration of the toroidal field. So maybe they're doing that. This Agent Smith trying to hide and cloak themselves in a different frequency. I think some of them did get an invitation to whatever this ceremony or event is. There's a younger person who spoke asking these masculines if they should use the Ripper or whether someone else was using the Ripper. Prisoners. And a few days back, they were talking about somebody wielding a chainsaw. So I don't know if this is the Ripper they're speaking of. Then, they were talking about another feminine saying she's 22. So they're talking about a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old. They're talking about somebody in the United States. They're talking about somebody in North Africa. It has to be a relationship, they said. They need permission to have access and play with the energy and the gifts of these feminines. The magic won't work unless they are gifted the energy, allowed permission to manipulate it, to possess it, to claim it. They're asking each other about your brothers and sisters. So then there was another silent message, and I don't know who this is coming from. I don't know what group this is. I don't want to call them adversary because I know that, the divine speaks in pictograph and just this flowing thought. But I know that these Godzillas, the shadow, they also use flowing thought, but it's more like chaos. It's very much like chaotic streams of thought. These communications aren't chaos. What this one was, they said, this is a sign. At 5:33, somebody said, it could be a couple of months away. Whatever it is. At 5:35, they were talking about chastity, which is refraining from sexual intercourse. Your energy is clean, it's clear, it's pure. You are vitalized. You are a rock star just out there blinging, shining bright. This curator said, goes to the highest bidder. At 5:38, somebody was explaining something that they were doing, ... is what I got. And then he said, and it broke. So I don't know if he put something in the freezer, maybe, and the jar broke. One of them said, have you guys seen that? Whatever that is, they're talking about a heart attack, like a death magic backfire. Somebody may have had a heart attack because you didn't. Your energy is too powerful and too pure. You are too balanced and at peace for this stuff to stick to you. At 5:42 this morning, somebody said, "Why couldn't you see? Why couldn't you see?" See, whatever these people are, they're supposed to have divine sight. And they couldn't tell that someone wasn't who they said they were. Or they couldn't tell that you were who you were, who you are. They're talking about, oh wait, I saw a spinning wheel. And there were herbs in a capsule. So there's a spinning wheel. So that's like Earth's wheat, right? Earth's cotton, Earth's what you spin, the natural fibers. And then I saw the capsule with the herbs in it. And so it's medicines, it's natural medicines. And then somebody said, "Excellent job." So they want you to know that whatever herbal supplements that you are utilizing to manage the temple and its cellular structure, its energetic structure, its electrical, magnetic, all that good stuff, you're doing an excellent job. You're being congratulated on the way that you maintain your temple. These adversaries were talking about cooking spirits. I don't know what that is. There was somebody a while back who said she doesn't even have to cook it first. So it's like, I don't know. It's like they have to cook their spirit or cook I don't know what that is, okay? But there's something about cooking spirits. Then one of the masculines were saying, "Do you realize blah, blah, blah?" Basically, blah, blah, blah. That's all I ever get is blah, blah, blah. So there's something about the 26th. And I believe it's this month, or it could have been last month. I don't know. Maybe they did a ceremony or a ritual last month on the 26th. Or maybe they're expecting something on this 26th. 11 years ago, he said, and then another masculine said, "I told you to delete this." They have records. "It never felt good," he said. And there's something about exposure. A revelation of something which had been concealed. Or being exposed to something like asbestos or STDs. They're concerned about security. There are too many psychics out here hearing these days. They're desperate to shut people down, but they can't get you to go into the dark. You're not in agreement with that. They're talking about shelter and saying that she provides the shelter. They're discussing how they took everything. And perhaps everything's being taken from them. They're in deficit. Whatever they took and have been enjoying, they can't pay back. It's like they have to go get an actual job. I wonder if this has anything to do with those houses burning in Hollywood. I don't know. And then this is interesting, and I didn't Google it, so I don't know anything about this, okay? It's they were talking about rod duffel weaponry. Apparently something exists in rod duffel weaponry. I'm going to have to look it up after I make this video. something about performance level. Somebody's talking, they're very, very upset, blah, 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 and it will never be. Or, and it never will be, is what they said. So there's an argument going on. It never will be what these ones want it to be. And a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, a few short months ago, it seems like a long time ago, when they were attacking me, one of the feminines said, it can't be what you want it to be. She was so upset. These masculines, they said, she understands the consequence of her actions. So it's like this person who's saying, and it never will be, it's like she's rebelling. She's wanting to quit. She doesn't want to do this anymore. She doesn't, it's not working. She doesn't believe it will. And she's done something, whether she, what do they call that? They called it, what do they call it when you're in the military and you leave? It's not AWOL. It's, well, although I think it is, but it's, like an abandonment. Like they run away. They are no longer loyal to whatever. So she understands the consequence of her actions, he said. I don't know what that is. They're talking about the chosen. Another one said, I picked out one of those, or one of these. So they have a list of the chosen. And apparently one of these adversaries picked out one of these. They're talking about many nets and many curses. It's like they cast them out. And it's like they've been cast back upon them. The boomerang effect, which is bringing the domino effect and the ripple effect. So that's what I got for you. And I hope that this brings clarification to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.